Do you know that we owe Ukrainians reparations for building and defending this nation? Oh, my bad. I meant to say Black Americans. Notice how there was not one study, not one hearing needed before sending billions of dollars to Ukrainians nor any other group. Yet, when the topic of reparations for the descendants of American slaves is mentioned, we get told a motley of excuses. And I know some of you want to blame the Republicans, but it is for the Democrats that Black Americans vote 85 to 95%. And the Democrats have been complicit in their neglect of Black Americans as well. Maybe it's time we elect politicians that are actually going to fight for us. Maybe it's time we do something different, something better. Join me in getting us not just better, but the best. Join me in this fight. Thank you.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
If you're tired of being censored on social media, join 6zeros.net. It's Black owned, Black operated, and Black moderated, and we make sure it stays a safe space for us to talk about all things Black culture. We also got some cool gear like the FDM cotton crew neck, the Fearless Ancestors tee, hats, and more. Check us out at 6zeros.net.
Hey girl, why are you so sad?
I just got banned from Twitter again.
Should have been on 60s.net. Ah.
All right, all right, all right. One more time, we are here again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Beatzilla PDX official show. I am your host, Beatzilla PDX officially, and this is the midweek report. So, once again, welcome. Please, 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 please like and share on your way in as you guys are coming on in the broadcast here. Had to give you a blast from the past. Shout out to Red Joker. Because, as we know, uh, uh, Uncle Lucas popped back up once again. Shout out to Afro Elite, who did a broadcast on that a couple days ago. And it's something to keep an eye on. It is most definitely something to keep an eye on, family. So, yeah, we we're gonna be keeping a close watch to what is going on that front. So let me go ahead and see who all we have in the house, and we're gonna go ahead and get started because there's again, this won't be too long of a broadcast, but as y'all know, I'm shortening these broadcasts up because, of course, we're putting out more videos on this channel. So this will be maybe we might. I don't think it even be 2 hours. But we're going to go over some of the State of the Union address from last night. Joe Biden, did his kind of normal thing, used black folks as props, but we're going to get into that. Judah Queen in the house. All right, all right. Lawrence Lilly, welcome, welcome. Key Prince in the house. And we got Judah Queen and Key Prince, 2 subscribers in the house. So, yes, indeed. Please like and share. Yes, indeed. So, you can also do that. You can join and become a member of the channel as well, which if you do, then like I said, a lot of the music stuff that I do, I'm going to start putting on my members only stuff. So like the live, most of the live stuff will be in the members only area. So, yes, indeed. Brother Afro Elite in the house. Key Prince. Mark Anderson. Son kissed by the Most High. Welcome. Dark skinned brother in the house. Yes, indeed. What is going on, my brother? Also another member of the channel. Shout out to you. And of course, our good brother Torian Rain Reloaded in the house. Like I said, my brother Afro Elite in the house. These are good, solid B1 content creators. So, you should already be following them. If you are not, go do so now. And also, of course, we got my brother, Black Alpha Network in the house. Certified salute, family. Yes, indeed. Crew Reality, what is going on, my brother? It's been a minute. Aboriginal Woman, welcome. David Boyd, yes, indeed. What is going on? Cyberdyne 100, welcome. All right, all right, all right. So let's get into it, family. The other day, the Congressional Black Caucus, I guess they've kind of been making a attempt at looking like they're doing something for black folks. You know how that goes. Because it's, around the State of the Union. So it's kind of make it or break it time. And I can't help but notice a lot of Democratic shill like behavior has been going on social media. Twitter's having issues today. Go figure. I mean, just can't help but peep the timing of all of these little glitches. And I wasn't on Twitter much today, so I really wasn't too majorly affected by the glitch because I was not on Twitter. But I heard a lot about it, and yeah, interesting that it's just a day after the State of the Union address. But nonetheless, we are here. We are here. So, like I said, the Congressional Black Caucus was kind of making a pitch again for now police reform. Police reform, reforming the system of white supremacy. I guess with what would be my question. But nonetheless, let's hear from one of the members. And this was just a few days ago, leading up to last night's State of the Union address. So let's play that first, and then we'll go on ahead and go forward. Lord. Film, animation, art, black first.
I thank the gentlelady for yielding, and I thank her, along with Congressman Ivey, for leading this special order hour on behalf of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus under the leadership of Chairman Steve Horsford. And tonight we are here to talk to you about a plague on America. It has to do with police violence towards black people in this country. And I'm not talking about just white police officers, but black officers also. We saw it with Tyree Nichols, a group of 5 so-called elite crime suppression unit officers who travel in unmarked cars and in plain clothes, and they're out looking for crime. And they jump out on folks. And
real quick, family. Does that sound like a movie that you've seen? Does the description of that elite unit sound familiar to a movie that you might have seen, that certain black actor got an Academy Award for? Huh? I mean, it sounds like he describing Training Day. And this ain't LA. So what that mean? That mean there's a lot of these elite units all across America. Tia to you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Acting like they're the Aboriginal woman, acting like it's the first time they have heard of this. Let's hear some more.
they jumped out on Tyree Nichols. He was on his way over to his mother's house for dinner, but he never made it. And y'all saw it on TV where he was pulled over. The police were going at 100 miles an hour on him. Get out of the car, get out of the car. Had guns drawn. Get on your stomach. And he complied. But because of the culture of policing with these crime suppression units and other units of police agencies across.
Interesting line, huh? And shout out to all of you who've been sending me clips of Roland Martin's program. That's, but we already know that a lot of big platforms would use smaller platforms material. So that's not unheard of. But to the way that he is kind of doing things these days, wow. But nonetheless, always remember where you're hearing and see these phrases and the wording is being established right here on this small itty bitty platform. Police culture. Now, notice how you're hearing that now. Police culture. Notice how they had to go straight away from the black on black and this is black culture. Oh, no, it ain't, baby. No, sir. No, ma'am. We can tell you exactly what it is. This is police culture. See, we have to, like I've been saying, I keep stressing this, we have to make sure we stay on top of the messaging. They don't get to tell us what's what. We tell them. You understand what I'm saying? B Mick in the house. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Yeah. So just notice that. Just notice that. Yes, indeed. Let's just hear that again.
On him. Get out of the car, get out of the car. Had guns drawn. Get on your stomach. And he complied. But because of the culture of policing with these crime suppression units and other units of police agencies across the country, he was frightened. I was frightened.
Hell yeah.
He ran. And he
was
almost
wise.
made it to his mother's house, but they caught up with him. And the rest you saw with your own eyes. You can believe your lying eyes about what you saw. A horrific beating. And you also could hear what was happening in the background as the officers were talking to each other, planning on how they were going to adjust their reports to all be consistent about this guy being on drugs and he must have been on this, that, and the other. He wouldn't comply.
You know, I just want to point out the energy sounds great. Like these people have definitely mastered the art of performance. But this is not new. It's been happening. We've said it's been going on. Black folks been getting lit up nonstop, left and right. Night Rider in the house. Salute. Shalom. You know, left and right. Children. I mean, you talking about in seconds, less than 0.3 seconds flat. Tamir Rice is gone. So this isn't new. Not to mention, I get it that all of those officers were not black. But we're talking about the culture of policing. See, remember, we went over Al Sharpton's sermon last week. What was Al Sharpton talking about? Al Sharpton was talking about, we fought and we died for you to be in that uniform. Yes, you did, but you fought and died, supposedly, to participate in the system of policing. And if you're not going to properly identify it for the community to which people that are aspiring to be part of that, you're telling them that, oh, this is about law and order, this is about right and all of this. You have to tell black folks and little black children, this is the origin of this entity, slave catching. But we don't tell people that. And they want you to go away from that now. Oh, you don't obey the police. Because this is the reason. See, this shows you the true nature of America. And you can just look at that by police-induced deletion. versus the rest of the world. Look at where their numbers sit and look at where the rest of the world sits. No comparison. The bloodlust is unimaginable, but able to mask it all away. Because you have tools that aid it. One of the biggest tools that aids this farce of a system is black folks. The world's biggest atrocity has been done to black people alone. But he's talking about black man, not a black and brown man, which we are about to hear a whole lot about here in a minute, while talking about this very same scenario. And then you're going to see a pivot into guns. But this is about police reform, and you're going to watch Joe Biden take this conversation and spin it into banning automatic assault weapons. So again, let's listen to a little more of what he has to say.
He wouldn't put his hands behind him, they just talking to each other throughout the whole thing. This is a part of a culture, and it's something that has to be rooted out. It's happening all over the country. In my neck of the woods, DeKalb County, 2015, March, an Air Force veteran, Anthony Hill, had been to Afghanistan. His mother didn't want him to go, but he went to serve his country, and he came back. He was different, suffering from mental illness, bipolar.
Makes sense.
So in March of 2015, shortly after the situation with Michael Michael Brown in Ferguson, shortly after that, Anthony Hill is out.
Was that a break in the sincerity? I mean, again, that could have been an easy mistake. Maybe. Possibly.
In his apartment complex, running around naked as a jaybird, swinging from canopies, knocking on doors. The neighbors knew him. They called the police. They called 911. They wanted some help to come for him. But instead, a police officer showed up. And when Anthony Hill did not stop coming towards the officer, he didn't tase him. He didn't hit him with his nightstick. He pulled out his 9mm, shot him twice, killed him. That was his mother's only son, her youngest child. He killed him. He was naked as a jaybird. And then he said in his report that the guy came at him and hit him, and that's why he fired. But the jury found otherwise. The officer was indicted for murder, but the jury didn't convict him for murder. They convicted him for aggravated assault and for lying, filing a false statement about what happened. Took the jury 6 days to get to the point where they could convict him of anything. And he was looking at 30 years at that point, but the judge had mercy on him, gave him 20 to do 12 for taking the man's life. And that's how it goes throughout America. Everybody has sympathy, and I have abundant sympathy, and I love my men in blue, men and women in blue. But the culture of policing has to change. We saw why it needs to change with Tyree Nichols. And my colleagues are going to come with other examples of why it needs to change. I've given you mine. I've taken enough of your time, but I'll just leave it with this. We need to make police reform a priority. It's time to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. We did it in the House 2 or 3 times last session. Went to the Senate, couldn't get across the finish line. So we need the Senate to abandon the filibuster rule. And let's get some legislation passed, let's get voting rights passed, and let's get police reform passed. And with that, I'll yield back to my colleagues.
All right. All right. Let's get police reform passed, family. Now, it's interesting that he was from DeKalb County. And he's talking about the Tyree Nichols thing. But he even mentions police reform and getting passing the George Floyd Policing Act. However, he neglected to mention this part, which was in response or anticipated response to the grassroots community, I guess. But we'll discuss this in a later video about that conversation. But it's interesting he was silent on this. Yeah, take a look at that. Uh-huh. This is just what they were ready to do. In the midst of if anybody wanted to go get buck. That is military equipment, family. I mean, now, on the real side of the game, what were they ready to do? Now, this is in anticipation, which never really came. It ended up being completely peaceful protests because you didn't have all of the typical black agent provocateurs that used to be able to go down on the street in comfort, get in there and start riling the wrong thing up. So now you just had to simply deal with the people, and all of this was for nothing. Because when you actually dealt with the people weren't on that page to begin with. So all of this was for nothing. Now, they have long had this other, what was it? I guess it's been the Antifa people, right? So the Antifa people has been going at the Cop City situation down there in Georgia right before this had happened. So I guess they figured that this was going to be a pivotal point for them to be able to start lumping this into like they were trying to do before. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, It didn't happen this time. Truth be told, the conversation had to be around police culture. And it's very hard to get away from. But the other thing that's also hard to get away from is police culture is rooted in white supremacy. Mm-hmm. So think about that. Rooted in white supremacy. So getting into last night last night's events, before we get into that, there was I guess, some sort of coalition that wanted to put out their statement to the world and to President Joe Biden about what they wanted to do and how they stood with the families and of I guess gun violence and the gun victims or whatnot. So here's what they had to offer to the world, family, and yeah, shout out to them.
I'm not free till we're all free, rising in solidarity. I'm not free till we're all free, rising in solidarity. I'm not free till we're all free, rising in solidarity. I'm not free till we're all free, rising in solidarity.
Your 501c3 tax dollars hard at work, folks. Hard at work, folks. Shout out to the nonprofits of the hustle. Wow. And you, family, you would be amazed. There's so many people that are making money off of your community right now. That's all they really do. But they're like, oh, we're outreach, and this is what they getting grants for. They living good. But like, and then they'll go get, we're gonna paint and we're gonna bang on this this African drum. And so, this comes from Nairobi, and so it makes this sound when you hit it. It's like what the Africans say their ancestors. Oh my goodness. You just would be amazed at how much cultural appropriated money. Well, actually, the appropriated word is right, but the cultural appropriated money and funds that go to programs that should be ran and led by us. But of course, there's a lot of us that either don't go online and get ourselves credentialized, or for some people are legit and have went to school. But because some of these preachers actually got their collars online, but that's another story for another day. Nonetheless, they get a chance to get free reign and making money, and then that's the bull they turn out. But look at how it was useful. Never join integrated organizations. Well spoken. Tori Racing. What is this? What the hell, Aboriginal woman? Afro Elite said, Lord. Yeah, man. I saw that. I was like, okay. This is how this day is gonna go. And they said they were promoting Solidarity, so that maybe they were something that they did yesterday morning must have really caught hold, because this happened. Yeah, that's like solidarity, like that everybody thing. We are all one. They over there look like Somebody been listening to Maze records. We are one. Lord. Mm. 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 Saying, wow. I mean, hey, this is the day and age where the camera don't miss a thing. So yeah, they caught it. So let's get to the meat of the matter.
Before I came to office, you remember, during that campaign, the big issue was about inspector generals who would protect taxpayers' dollars who were sidelined. They were fired. Many people said we don't need them. And fraud became rampant. Last year, I told you the watchdogs are back. Since then, we've recovered billions of taxpayers' dollars. Now let's triple the anti-fraud strike force going after these criminals, double the statute of limitations on these crimes, and crack down on identity fraud by criminal syndicates stealing billions of dollars from the American people. And the data shows that for every dollar we put into fraud, the taxpayers get back 10 times as much. It matters. It matters. Look, COVID left its scars, like the spike in violent crime in 2020, the first year of the pandemic.
Now, look at that spin. And shout out, real quick, dark skinned brother. Shout out for the super sticker, man. Appreciate that. Shout out to you, my brother. Peace, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours. Thank you so much. Yeah. And what Key Prince said, now you're sending billions of taxpayer dollars to Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Let's hear more.
We have an obligation all people are safe. Public safety depends on public trust, as all of us know. But too often that trust is violated. Joining us tonight are the parents of Tyree Nichols. Welcome. We had to bury Tyree last week. As many of you personally know, there's no words to describe the heartache or grief of losing a child. But imagine if you lost that child at the hands of the law. Imagine having to worry whether your son or daughter came home from walking down the street, or playing in the park, or just driving a car.
Yeah, imagine. That's called the Black experience in America, Joe. And see, you wouldn't have this conversation had he not went through that on camera. But what you were explaining is actually the Black experience in America, because as you can see, any random Black young man can get harassed or beat up or deleted by the police at any given moment. So any parent would always have that worry on their mind. Any person in that child or that young man or young woman is also going to have that in their mind. That's called being under the system of oppression. It's funny that the idea of oppression, literally, I didn't even understand that would ever be a charge. But it's charged to the 5 officers. Truth be told, America needs to be charged with that now. Because what you're describing, Mr. Joe Biden, is literally oppression. Because if you have to worry, because that's not just, see, what you're explaining is that mother doesn't have to worry anymore. She doesn't never have to ask the question if what if my child gets stopped by these police? She never has to ask that question again. Because the system that you ensured would be in place when you were making those laws back in the 90s did their jobs. And now she is childless. Thanks to you. Now, there's a lot of black leaders and black preachers and Boule members that don't understand that they had their hands in this entire thing. This is the evidence of saying, well, you know, we need to clean up this crime and the guns and the crime and the crime and the guns. Yeah. And then you turned around and said that this was better than the other dude. This was somehow worthy of dying on a hill for. How does that make sense? Anyway, let's continue.
Most of us in here have never had to have the talk that brown and black parents have had to have with their children.
Whoa. Mr. President, that talk is only in one individual household in America. That talk. Because there's only one group in that situation. Because again, the police are rooted in slave catching. Unless there's another class of slaves, a group of slaves that have been slaves in this country, and then you had to go make a constitutional amendment to free slaves, then there wouldn't be any brown. No, if you're just going to call them black, then call them black. But that's a singular conversation. So they're trying to take the most unique experience. And not only that, you mentioned them first. There is no brown. But we've seen black on census. Not no damn brown. So while you're trying to declassify us, you're trying to classify them by making them a race. Hope you all are paying attention to this man. And this, all the boule and the vote blue no matter who, and we got to do something because the Trump is going to do something. And Trump get in there, and then Trump. I don't give a damn about neither one of them damn parties. Who's going to do something for us? Way I see it, Trump would be the better option because at least you all could see he is openly racist. Go get something from that man. He needed your votes. At this point, he really wouldn't have to deliver on anything. See, because you let him do his 4 years. For him to have had a full 8 years would have required him, and that's why you think he was talking Ice Cube, where, I think they let Ice Cube play him. The only people who played Ice Cube was everybody who was vote blue no matter who. That's who's responsible for that. In the Mix Radio, shout out. Yes, indeed. I see you in the chat. Let's keep going.
Bo, Hunter, Ashley, my children. I never had to have the talk with them. I never had to tell them if a police officer pulls you over, turn your interior lights on right away.
Of course not.
Don't reach for your license. Keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Don't even reach for your seatbelt after they tell you.
Imagine having to worry like.
But see, understand, when they give you commands in 50 seconds, then, there might be the chance for error. So they're built, it's legitimately built. And let's be clear, the man speaking is responsible for these laws. So the talk. Yeah, these special units and task force, y'all realize that Joe Biden is responsible for this, right? Your ever-loving Democrats and Boule caucus and all that, that's how we got here. Now you want police reform? We don't just need police reform. We need the undoing of the long list of farm system raised traders that have sold us up the river to allow this to get here. So it's not just police reform. There's a hell of a lot more attached to this.
That every single time your kid got in a car. Here's what Tyree's mother shared with me when I spoke to her. When I asked her how she finds the courage to carry on and speak out. The faith of God, she said her son was, quote, a beautiful soul, and something good will come of this. Imagine how much courage and character that takes. It's up to us, to all of us. We all want the same thing. Neighborhoods free of violence. Law enforcement who earns the community's trust.
No. We want reparations. We want an anti-hate crime bill. We need all of the funding for the situations for us that Ukrainians and all these other immigrants who are flooding our borders illegally are getting. And then, a little bit of that, what they call that? Separation. Of course, within where we are, but just like how everybody else gets, you get people with enclaves. We ain't even got that. And then we, of course, also, because it was our ancestors that built this country, and then also our family members and people who are still living who helped get these immigrants over here. We gonna need some separation and some of that enclaving thing y'all do. But we'll build it, but we need our paper. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, all of this sounds good, but here's the thing. You're the devil because you're actually talking to me like you don't know it's your policies that put us in this predicament to begin with. So, no, thanks to you and your grand wizard, political father, Strom Thurmond, I don't know how black folks couldn't see you coming, but this is amazing. And I just want to point out to you that this is the sound of the great Satan. Not that he's still wise and well enough to hear it, but in the terms of the great Dr. Muhammad. I was just listening to Dr. Khalil Muhammad earlier, before this broadcast, and just some of the things he said. And I just appreciate the unapologetically clear message that he sent to his people. Because of these airwaves are monitored, people can't legitimately probably just, convey the message that they want to like that. But yeah, it's always refreshing to hear the truth just freely spoken like that without censorship. It's a great deal. So yeah, if y'all ever get a chance to go, get them old videos or audio lectures of Dr. Khalid Muhammad, go treat yourself. AK Sour Guy, what is going on, brother? Yes, indeed. Let's keep it rolling.
Just as every cop, when they pin on that badge in the morning, has a right to be able to go home at night, so does everybody else.
Blue Lives Matter.
Our children have a right to come home safely. Equal protection under the law is a covenant we have with each other in America. We know police officers put their lives on the line every single night and day. And we know we ask them in many cases to do too much to be counselors, social workers, psychologists, responding to drug overdoses, mental health crises, and so much more.
You are literally hearing a individual try to make the plight of a career path more stressful than the history of oppression, slavery, Jim Crow, and oh yeah, police brutality, over prosecution, over targeting by the legal system. No mention of that. And now we're segueing in. You just mentioned this man's mother, and do you see how he is already pivoting? This dude is something else. This dude is something else, family.
In one sense, we ask much too much of them. I know most cops and their families are good, decent, honorable people, the vast majority.
Oh, Lord. But black folks are not. And it's not a career path of being black in America. Being born the descendant of the slaves that built this country, it is not a career path. But this dude is literally over here, and he's what would you say? Pedalizing, like putting on a pedestal, pedestalizing. That's not a word, but he is literally putting on a pedestal the police. Right after you just used that man's mother as a prop. Wow. And some of y'all will be like, but this is love. No, it is not. No, it is not. This is an insult. I really wish our folks would know when people are insulting you. I mean, the cops got it hard too. What on earth, dude? Imagine going to somebody's funeral doing that. You understand what I'm saying? Just imagine going to somebody's funeral doing that. Yeah, so the police killed your house, they killed your only son. I mean, the police have it stressful too. You know what it's like? They want to go home too. Then I know a lot of good cops. His mind tells him, after using dead black man's mama, let me now promote the culture that made her childless in the same conversation. And we're crazy for saying no tangibles, no vote? Come on, man. You see his respect for black folk. And mind you, they did the whole thing of, let's invite them to the White House. Wow. Wow.
But they risk.
This is crazy.
And they risk their lives every time they put that shield on. But what happened to Tyree in Memphis happens too often. We have to do better.
Whoa! So Tyree puts on his shield of blackness every day. and goes out and but so how is he diminishing being just looked at as a threat because of your appearance, and then says it's worse because these people have a badge? The fact that black folks even tell themselves this dude is okay is like Stockholm syndrome at this point. This dude is telling you what it is. I mean, and you hear what's said and hear what's not said. Right now, anybody starting that's going to try to co-sign this man is literally lying to themselves or just holding on to the lie because that's all they got left. But there's no way around this. This dude is the absolute worst. How can you be like this? This is the dude who would orchestrate the deletion of your child, and now he has your mother, the dead, deceased individual's parent, as a political prop. It's almost like a sick joke to white supremacists, though. Not to say that he would have any experience on how that inside game goes. Oh, that way. Well, that's right. He does. Because Strom Thurmond taught him. Just like old Barry Goldwater girl, Hillary Clinton. And y'all just eat it up. See, this is the one thing. This is how you know that's a person that's really willing to be the devil for the team, because they'll come get close to who they plan to destroy. See how war works?
Give law enforcement the real training they need.
Oh,
Hold them to higher standards.
Whoa!
Help them succeed in keeping us safe. We also need more first responders and professionals to address the growing mental health, substance abuse.
Man, if Breonna Taylor was still alive. Because, you know, Breonna Taylor was the first responder. Amazing how none of that ever really gets mentioned when talking about Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor was an EMT. Breonna Taylor was a first responder. Did she even get a first responders send-off? I'm just wondering. Was there the big company wake with the fire department and all that? Did they do all that? PM in the chat. Shout out to you. Black First. In the mix, radio said the brown people get white status. Yes, indeed. Judah Queen said, I can't. Whew, this dude here. Night Rider said there are willing participants.
More resources, reduce violent crime and gun crime. More community intervention programs. More investment in housing, education, and job training. All this can help prevent violence in the first place. And when police officers or police departments violate the public trust, they must be held accountable.
AT Alien, welcome. What's good? Now he talking about they must be held accountable. He right there with Barack Obama signing in that blue line, that blue alert. This is when you know you're talking to the devil or the devil is talking to you. I'm telling you, because he is everything he's talking about that he's saying he cares about. He is literally the man that has been in the room for every ounce of harm that he is talking about. I mean, I'm talking about every ounce of harm that came to black folks in America. He had his hands on as of recent. And now he is sitting in front. How many times has Tariq Nasheed told y'all that these people do a lot of sick jokes and inside jokes. I could tell you, living in Portland, Oregon, yes. If y'all don't understand how that works, and this is one big old inside joke, and so, while everybody in the air, everybody knows, and Black America just sitting up there, we don't even know. I mean, he is celebrating himself harming Black America to the cheers of Black America. And you mean to tell me that ain't the devil? Come on, man. And I ain't saying like, oh, he's Satan. No, when I say devil, I mean deceiver, because how much deeper can you be of a deceiver? To have been the person to implement the wheels churning to make sure that your child ain't here no more. That is evil. Evil as hell.
With the support of the families of victims, civil rights groups, and law enforcement, I signed an executive order for all federal officers banning chokeholds, restricting no-knock
civil
warrants,
rights,
and other key elements of the George Floyd Act. Let's commit ourselves to make the words of Tyler's mom true. Something good must come from this. Something good.
How about reparations?
And all of us.
How about reparations? Hashtag reparations.
All
That's
of us.
something good that can come about this. Let me a minute. Shout out to you.
Folks, it's difficult, but it's
come on.
all of us in this chamber. We need to rise to this moment. We can't turn away. Let's do what we know in our hearts we need to do. Let's come together to finish the job on police reform. Do something. Do something. That was the plea of parents who lost their children in Uvalde. I met with every one of them. Do something about gun violence.
Woo! Did you see that smooth pivot? Did you see the pivot? He said the word police reform and immediately turned to guns. And then the people of Uvalde, and this is what Uvalde. Oh, wow, man. Wow. I hope y'all are listening. This is a cold con. This is like presidential con game at its finest. Boy, they must have gave him his Geritol and some ginkloba and shot of ginseng and yohimbe and some more, because he percolated for this. Now he's talking about Uvalde. How did you got the mother of this, and there was no gun involved in Tyree Nichols' situation. Can we note that part? There's no gun in this. This is a barbaric beating. But then again, let's think of police culture. What's going on for all the people that are not? Because there's more people that are under investigation. And there's, I believe, right now, there might be 2 more slated to be charged. So this whole Tyree Nichols case is still getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But instead of really hard, well, let's get police reform and the family of Uvalde, and they talking about guns, and we need to do something about gun reform. So back to immigrants. Mind you, wasn't it immigrant that actually is the culprit? I mean, this is all, hey, this is immigrant business, and some of these people don't belong in this country who are doing these crimes. What are we going to do about that, brother? I'm not hearing answers on that, but hey, let's keep going.
Thank God. Thank God we did. Passing the most sweeping gun safety law in 3 decades. That includes things like that the majority of responsible gun owners already support enhanced background checks for 18 to 21 years old, red flag laws, keeping guns out of the hands of the people who are addicted to themselves and others. But we know our work is not done. Joining us tonight is Brandon Say, a 26-year-old hero. Brandon put his college dreams on hold to be at his mom's side when she was dying from cancer. And Brandon now works at a dance studio started by his grandparents. And 2 weeks ago, during the Lunar New Year celebrations, he heard the studio door close, and he saw a man standing there pointing a semi-automatic pistol at him. He thought he was going to die, but he thought about the people inside. And in that instant, he found the courage to act and wrestle the semi-automatic pistol away from the gunman who had already killed 11 people in another dance studio. 11. He saved lives. It's time we do the same. Ban assault weapons now. Ban them now. Once and for all.
What a huge, quick pivot. Pipe dream. They know that. They know that. We have a whole law here in Oregon that is probably going to set the precedent for the country once the dust is settled and they lock down. But when you start seeing the gun thing, that's to start tying up the court's time to start so the court doesn't have to deal with Black issues. They can say, oh, well, we have a epidemic of this and we have to pay attention to that. And so just that quick, Black folks were talked about real quick. And then immediately you heard them go, he went straight into guns and getting guns and abolishing assault rifles and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But see, that ain't got nothing to do with Black folks being targeted. See, how did Black people's plight automatically just get lumped in with guns? You see how he did it? So not only that, he was also lumping in the brown as well. And he was keeping brown prominent in the conversation to where they don't even belong because there's no brown person up here that he used as a prop like he did Tyree Nichols' mother, which is just, again, absolutely low class and low ball.
I led the fight to do that in 1994. In 10 years, that ban was law. Mass shootings went down. After we let it expire in the Republican administration, mass shootings tripled. Let's finish the job and ban these assault weapons. And let's also come together on immigration. Get a bipartisan issue once again.
Project Leroy in the house. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? You go from Tyree Nichols to gun reform and banning assault rifles to let's get this immigration thing done. Now, remember when he was first tying the brown and black people in, and brown and black people never had to have that talk. Oh, we haven't had to have that talk to brown and black people. No, it's not brown and black, only black. You don't have a brown representative of this situation on stage, in the building, nowhere in conversation. However, for some reason, we're hearing brown before the person that's actually national, international news. There's no brown. There's been George Floyd, black. Breonna Taylor, black. Atiana Jefferson, black. Tyree Nichols, black. There's a reason why this is the headlines, and everybody complains, well, other people get harmed too. Yeah, but you aren't tied to this soil like we are. We are not immigrants. And so what he keeps doing is tying American foundationals to immigrants. And we need to get this immigrant. No. See how I just pushed that into the car? Hell no. Now, what did I just tell you all about on my other videos? They keep trying to lump them in with us. It is a long-term plan of the Democrats, but not just Democrats. Other so-called liberal people as well that don't even identify as Democrats, so the independents too. And some Republicans, I'm sure.
We now have a record number of personnel working to secure the border, arresting 8,000 human smugglers, seizing over 23,000 pounds of fentanyl in just the last several months. We've launched a new border plan last month. Unlawful migration from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela has come down 97% as a consequence of that. But American border problems won't be fixed until Congress acts. If we don't pass my comprehensive immigration reform, at least pass my plan to provide.
So let's just point out that he just pointed out the dark-skinned Latino nations that he could figure out how to keep them out, especially Haiti. And, but what's so funny is, guess who's the largest in the news with the gang problem? It's Haiti. You know how all of these other people are fleeing war-torn and drug wars and cartel wars and all of this other wars that's going on in their country, and they have to flee and go through about 2 or 3 countries to get to America, which is actually not a person seeking asylum, but that is a person trying to migrate illegally into your country because they should have stopped a few countries ago. If it was about war and all of this blah, blah, blah that they'd be talking about, but it's not. They're looking to come here to have a better life. Better life. So you got to understand when this happens. So let's look at it this way. He has made a pivot from historic Black individuals to now trying to, he brought it all the way home. Let's put the immigrants in foundational Black Americans' pocket. That's why I keep telling you, he's trying to redefine Latinos and Hispanics as a race versus an ethnicity. And you're hearing what he's doing. This is not it ain't just him. There's a reason and method to this. Pay attention,
and officers to secure the border. And a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, those on temporary status, farm workers, essential workers. Here in the People's House, it's our duty to protect all the people's rights and freedoms. Congress must restore the right.
Now, you're talking about people who ain't even legal here protecting their freedoms and protecting, but You, when talking about Tyree Nichols, who is an American citizen, just said you need police reform and then to ban assault weapons, which had nothing to do with his situation. Family, I just wanted to go through this just to let you know, because most people probably won't go through this and break this down, but I just wanted to show you what type of character we are really legitimately dealing with in Joe Biden. Not that we didn't know, but you can see that there ain't no love coming. So if you think that anybody can convince you that, oh, well, no, he's going to do something for black folks. No. Only thing he's doing for black folks is trying to put every Latino and Hispanic in your bag. Because remember,
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
And look how he's planning to accommodate that. But see, they weren't until you opened the floodgates, Joe Biden, to make them a buffer class. So see, this is his plan of putting a buffer class in front of black people. This is not a benefit.
Congress must restore the right that was taken away in Roe v. Wade and protect Roe v. Wade. Give every woman a constitutional right. The Vice President and I are doing everything to protect access to reproductive health care and safeguard patient safety. Well, already more than a dozen states are enforcing extreme abortion bans. Make no mistake about it. If Congress passes a national ban, I will veto it. But let's also pass the Bipartisan Equality Act to ensure LGBTQ Americans, especially transgender young people, can live with safety and dignity. Our strength.
And I think that will about do what I wanted to play. I think that'll about do it. Because the one thing that I wanted to show you is that he only taught, when he came to black folks, his State of the Union for black folks was police reform. So that means police get more money. You get I guess a symbolic gesture by the thought of somehow the money that's going to be funneled now even further into police is somehow a win for black folks because they're telling you it's in a form of reform. However, he just mentioned two other groups, actually three. So the Dreamers, these illegals that are here right now in flooding the border in mass numbers by the thousands, and then also the LGBTQ community. He mentioned protection laws. And for the immigrants, laws that would establish them in this country. But when it came to black folks, police reform. No money going to the community, nothing to financially incentivize anyone to not harm black folks. But no, just police reform. Now let's ban these assault rifles and let's go get these illegals immigration status. And that's what we have just been inundated with since this man has been in office. And people can't understand why we are going all, well, we made it just act like the Democrats and this and this. No, it's not just the Democrats, this, that, and this and that. We are hearing and seeing this man's plan over the last 30 years of destroying the black community. And now he comes back 30 years later, scoffing in black folks' faces, talking about police reform, and then trying to then put everybody in front of black folks' agenda. Even when talking about what black people are experiencing, he didn't allow that to just sit with black folks like he has sitting in the audience as props. No, you know who he incorporated first? The brown, the people that he now is already discussing protections for. Protections. While black folks will get police so-called talking in the on Capitol Hill about police reform, and that's all we'll get. Like I said, notice the setup. That's why I played that other video first. Because notice how we're so as the Congressional Black Caucus, we gonna look for a police reform bill. And so what he come out, so brown and black people have to have the talk. Brown people do not have to have the talk. The talk that brown people have is improve the race. Because they're white. They are white Hispanics. That's why you can specifically pick out Haiti and say, yeah, you and you don't come here, because all of them have a heavy dark class that easily is trying to come out. And they're trying to come up too, because what you said is immigrants were okay. See, what they didn't understand was that the order of the day in America still and always will be white supremacy as long as it is in power. So, of course, they didn't mean your black ass. Back to Port-au-Prince you go. They found money to put, they didn't like get no ship. They sent planes and fired up the jet. That's why I say hashtag fire up the jet. Because that's what they did to them. CNN didn't have enough time to get down to Texas. They had to go fly down and meet the deportees in Port-au-Prince. Because by the time they got there to go interview them in Texas, they was already on planes in the air. They interviewed them folks in Haiti. They didn't interview them in America. They interviewed them in Haiti. What that tell you? I tell you that, yeah, this country has a foolproof, solid plan. And they ain't playing with folks, family. They are not playing. They letting everybody know, yeah, we're going to block you off. And notice how no one has said nothing. Here's the thing. One of the countries on his list that he's blocking from coming here is Haiti. His press secretary is Haitian. So if you want to know, well, she black too, and here's the diaspora. Okay, well, there's the diaspora for you right there. She don't give a damn about her own, and she's Haitian. It's Brother Sage in the house. What is going on, my brother? Yes, indeed. So, I mean, look at old Shay Pierre in there, press secretary of the White House. She lied for that man like it ain't nothing. She give you the third world hustle every time she get on that mic. Like, yes, this is what they paid me to do, and I'm in the big house doing it. We get up here and lie. And double talk and double speak. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. But family, what do y'all think about this? What do y'all think about this? For those of you who will be watching the replay, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this State of the Union address. I mean, because for me, I call BS. especially when I already knew his scenario. And I can't help but feel insulted at the fact that when it comes down to our situation, this man cannot speak to or about our individual claim. He's trying to do the whole, you said trash project, Leroy. I know that's right. Man, hashtag reparations, hashtag cut the check, hashtag reparations now, or it's like this. I have to agree with the good Reverend Jeremiah Wright.
First was the controversial Reverend Jeremiah Wright.
I say America, America's mother, America's daddy, America can eat a dick, America can lick the balls.
Now, if somebody hops up in my comment thread, I'll be asking the question. You better, like we had a person hop up in our space the other day. I could hear the accent, but I was gonna let him roll anyway, just so he can get his babbling tether garbage out. And then my brother Black Alpha Network had to chime in, and he had to ask,
"Where's your family from?"
Because you already know how that goes. And, I understand there's a lot of people out there that want to call foundational Black Americans a hate group. That's not so. But see, one thing we have to be clear about. There will be faceless trolls everywhere. But you know where the thought leaders can be found. So if you're not getting information from a thought leader, there's no reason to ever go back and forth with the faceless troll. That makes no sense. And then to put the faceless troll on the masses, nah, we can't do that. We can't do that. We got to keep it together closer and tighter knit than that. On code. But I do understand there's a lot of people out here. Here's the other part. We cannot spend too much time getting involved in individual beefs at this point. You have a whole well-oiled machine working against us as a whole. If you want to be focused on outsiders like that and understand why we are not, there's a reason. Because we don't have this spirit in. I think a lot of people want that. And it's, that's just not where it's at right now. So we need to keep things focused. We nobody's going to be jumping in the telephone booth and hooping and hollering over some random beef. And because we understand how people can get involved in things they should not be involved in. So, understand if somebody, hey man, why don't you say, I'm a fair man. So as long as people deal with me correctly, I will deal with them correctly. Anything outside of that, then we would call it disrespect and that'll be dealt with accordingly. But as far as me ever getting involved in any beef that ain't got nothing to do with me, let me tell you, in 2023, only bring beef to me that involves me. If it does not involve me, then, are you going to say something? But this person, But if you don't say nothing, then people might, just I can't stress that point enough. I cannot stress that enough. Yeah, that is not my get down. And not to say, I'm not sympathetic to other people who have situations, but what I look like jumping out the window on somebody that I don't have problems with because, hey man, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Family, people be like, man, this is that. Y'all be killing me with that. I keep telling y'all, I don't get involved in people's personal business, but man, I get y'all don't get along. I get it. I had somebody asking me the other day, which was a real cornball ass question, and I'll get into this on the tail end of this video because I'm about out of here. Somebody asked me about another content creator and asked me if I agreed with what she said. Isn't she her own person? Yeah. And not to mention what I already stated, and I state this often in spaces or lives about how I feel about that whole foundational Black American hate group talk. Well, obviously, this person hasn't been paying attention to any of that and asked me if I agreed with this individual who was still talking about foundational Black Americans being a hate group. I have to ask, well, why are you asking such a hoe ass question? Because, when you do things like that, that's gossipy he say, she say. Number one, I wasn't around to hear what this individual said. If that's what they said, that's their place to say it. I don't know how that relates to me, though. See, where I look at that as, and men, I'm gonna need y'all to stop acting like messy high school females with all the question asking. Well, hey, are you gonna do this or are you gonna do it? Do you agree with this person? What you think about this person? I could see a female doing that. For a dude doing that, that is so unmanly. It ain't funny. So I look at you like, what's up with you? Any person doing that'll be the very first thing to come to my mind is, what's up with this dude? The hell wrong with him? I mean, because that's weirdo, lame shit to me. But I mean, I guess a lot of you is brought up on that wavelength. That's just weird to me. What do you ask me about another dude or a person for? Like, this person thought that, huh? Man, I don't know what the hell y'all been privy to, but geez. ATLE, weak sauce. Yes. And McIntyre, reparation needs to be a priority. These old Negroes, these old Negroes. Yes, indeed. Miss D, I see in the house at Suite 201. And, we have to just address that time-wasty behavior. Man, let's go ahead and beef with one another. Man, we got a big enough fish to fry that is in front of you. I don't understand how anybody could figure out how to win a battle always shooting at your own limbs. I mean, because that's how that shit looked to me. All that FBA is a hate group talk? No. If I have to be very clear, which I've already been, no, I do not co-sign that type of talk at all. I believe it's dangerous. Well, I know you used to rock with such, yeah. And we could have a completely different opinion. That's the point of being a grown-ass man. I mean, the fact that you would even be I'm like, do you see this grade? I earned this grade by following someone else? What are you talking about? I mean, is this some of the type of life y'all been living? I mean, yeah, I guess this is an eye-opener for me because up until this point, little weak sauce type dudes like you are never even in my presence. You're not in anyone I know's presence. So the internet allows a lot to go on, and that takes some getting used to because, my Lord, the fact that you dudes be asking questions like, and just to hear you in spaces, y'all be trying to sound all manly and shit. And then all your questions come from a place of a dude that talks on the phone in the middle of the night on his stomach. But you all be, yeah. You up there laying on your stomach, drinking peach schnapps, smoking a flavored blunt. And then, man, I'm gonna talk tough on this. Shut up. Yeah, I mean, that shit is so crazy. We're like, who raised you? You didn't have no OGs around you. No manly men to even say, hey, man, we don't do that. And like, for what y'all be doing, man, what you think about this person? That might get you beat up out. Like when we was growing up, that type of shit to get you beat up. So, I mean, to even be doing something like, hey, so what you think about this person? Like, huh? That's a weird question to me. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna tell you. Anytime anybody come around me, yeah, man. So, man, what you think about? I don't even rock with you, nigga. Why are you asking me about anybody? Like maybe people be hitting you up like they friends with you. Like, man, what you think about this person? What your mama think about? I don't know. Asking me about somebody else. What I think about them is what I think about them. Fuck that mean to you? I'm just serious, family. I mean, these people be gone out here, and this internet could really get people gone. This internet really can get people gone. So, like I said, though, but that's because a lot of these dudes, and like I said, y'all seen when people be jumping out the window, man, you can't be talking to no woman like that and this and that. Yeah, y'all ain't cut from the era I'm cut from. So I see who raised. Make that nigga take care of your kids. Make that nigga call your kids his. Make that nigga get out there and work. Make his ass buy you a doing a bird. It's all part of that sucker. Come save me. Pussy whip nigga. Come save it. Batches be out. What they say, batches be on the lookout for Captain Saberhawk. Because he's saving the hoes. I'll never forget. I mean, man, y'all can't do this and y'all can't do that. And man, some of the stuff I have seen over the course of the years, and the fact that y'all still be in them spots, y'all still be in spaces with some of these dudes. I'm like, come on, man. By now, y'all should have y'all need to get out that kiddie pool, man. Stop, y'all. I know y'all like the tomfoolery every now and then, but y'all need to stop playing in that kiddie pool over there and stay away from that shallow-minded conversation. So, well, I'm gonna ask, so should anybody else then, like foundational Black American, or this designation or that designation, should they be entitled to reparations? Let's do a space about it. I mean, just the same old redundant conversation trying to recatch lightning in a bottle, I guess. It's like, I wish you would see more people moving forward in a progressive conversation, because that's what things need to happen, because the enemy against you is not focusing on clout. They're focusing on winning. And for some reason, people are like, man, I mean, just think of it this way. While you have an enemy focused on black folks' destruction, you got black folks thinking they got time to sit up here and worry about what Tariq Nasheed gonna do at his museum. Man, he ain't got all that money from you. Man, y'all stupid. He ain't got all that. You even twice as dumb because you're worried about it. Oh man, I'm not pocket watching. Yeah, nigga, that's pocket watching. Who the fuck raised you? I'm man. Like I said, I just had to leave on this note and just give y'all this little bit of game, because there's so much sidewalk sucker shit that go on out here and ain't funny. Man, everybody got an opinion. They an armchair producer with no wins. Ain't never put their hand to a victory in their life, but everybody know what to do. Man, please. Like I said, I've been around long enough to see so many come and go. I see people. I know when people catch hot, you catch lightning in a bottle, and super science simps. Good grief! I mean, it makes no sense to me. I mean, I get it. That's why I came up with the word cloudtopia. For those of you who are new, every now and then I may create a word. I've done it plenty. So I may create a word. I create it with my own definition, and we will have that because trust me, you know, when I create something, it'll hit correct. I mean, because at the end of the day, tell me this don't make sense. Yeah, tell me this don't make sense. Anybody looking at your screen right now, just look at that and tell me if there ain't somebody that that you've been listening to on these spaces or whatnot that fits this category. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Cloudtopia. In some cases, large groups provide a place for people who aren't normally interesting to most people. And when and when the space provides same said person with the mic, they can easily fall into the pitfalls of cloudtopia, where anyone who is a great overtalker while being a bad listener can be passed off as wise because the spirit of wisdom clearly took a pass on all of them. Can y'all dig it? Can y'all dig it? Cloudtopia, family. Let's not fall into the pitfalls of cloudtopia. You know what I'm saying? And also, don't fall for this trick either, because the African American community stood up again for me. You have always have my back, and I'll have yours. And once again, you watched him ignore black folks. I guess he figured, I'll just wait till next year to talk to y'all. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. And always remember
You
this.
heard the word reparations there. The NAACP defines it as financial recompensation for African Americans whose ancestors were slaves. Tuberville seemed to be saying that blacks are, quote, the people that do the crime. Now, the Democratic Party does not support reparations, though President Biden has supported studying the issue.
He supported studying the issue. Wow, what a big win. Just win all over the place for Joe Biden, ain't it? Now, it's funny. People are like, well, man, you just go in at the Democrats and this. The Republicans have never looked or used black folks as a base. So the conversation is nowhere near the same. Y'all love doing that. Man, I find it so funny and hilarious that the Republicans ain't gonna support no reparations or what you. Shut up. Shut up, coward. No one's listening to you anyway. All I know is how to step and fetch it. Now, I need a butter biscuit, so what they said to come over here to do was just throw some words of discouragement. And in the meantime, what you need to do is you need to tell the black folks that, see, now, police is doing nice things for the folks, man. They doing nice things for black people. Now, they got the whole police car wrapped up in the African flag and it's RBG and kente cloth and everything that is not foundational black American. Man, winning, yeah, woo-wee, man, knocking it out the park, huh? And see, here again, Joe Biden did what? He's over here playing to the immigrants. We need to do this. You need to do that. It's like, I wish see, what they need to do is tell Joe Biden to shut the hell up. Stop doing that. Because every time he opens his mouth, South America is getting phone calls like this. And then next thing you know, you just have a whole bunch of white folks that really just need to do this.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
I'm just saying. And they're trying to put the Latino conversation in the mix and all of that. And then you have a lot of these people trying to rewrite history. Well, MLK was about this, Malcolm X was about that. No, Malcolm X was about this.
I think you're right there. I would not limit our employment demands to Negroes. I would include Puerto Ricans and other minorities throughout our country, which have been similarly discriminated against, though not for so long a period of time as Negroes.
Puerto Ricans weren't enslaved. Yeah, this is a problem that stems from slavery. And this compensation, yes, sir, this compensation is coming to people who were enslaved by the white man for 400 years. The Puerto Ricans don't even fit into this picture.
Well, they do fit into it.
No,
they do fit into it.
The problem is the Negro problem. They're not lynching Puerto Ricans.
If a dark-skinned Puerto Rican went down to Mississippi, he probably would be lynched too.
Spanish, he wouldn't be lynched.
No, they don't.
It's the Negro here, and as long as he can speak Spanish or some other language, or if he ties his head up with a turban or something, he can go anywhere in Mississippi or in your home that he desires.
You're not aware of the fact, are you, that African students have been arrested in our demonstrations in the South?
When they
speak French.
When they have been mistaken for the so-called Negro in America, they've been arrested.
What I'm saying is...
Yeah. See? That tether agenda has been going on for a while. Judah Queen said that tether neck roller's coming. Thank you so much, Aaron McIntyre, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours. All of the contributions to this platform is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. You already know. Yakananan. What's going on? What's going on? Yes, indeed. Shalom. Let's see. Black women stand up. Yes, indeed. Malcolm X comeback. Yes, indeed. So, also, for the people that don't understand, see, our elders understood who they were dealing with as well. Because even this is what Dr. Martin Luther King had to say about these so-called liberal white folks.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
So anytime you are looking to travel outside of your own and try to sit up there and side up, well, we need to do this for these people and we need to worry about these folks, this is what you're doing. And then most of us are just going to look at you like this.
Shade tree nigger.
You understand what I'm saying? Because we do understand there are a lot of you who are kind of this way.
Every time I have always played the fool.
You don't want to be that. And you don't want to be this.
It's okay to take the cape off.
But we understand how so many of you Biden sexuals cannot see living without this.
No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise, no medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise.
Oh, oh man, man, man. And people absolutely see those types, they absolutely dread hearing what we need to understand and what we need to know. And this is how we keep it
To
simple.
put it in the frame of reference, everyone, when they talk about racism and white supremacy, should always start by saying that the focus, the objective should be replace white supremacy with justice. Those are the 5 basic words.
And it's very simple. You should be always ready to walk into battle and equipped with the truth. Because, see, when you walk in with the truth and you got these individuals who are coming with their deception and their lies, them lies and deceptions can't hold up with the truth. That's why we stay with our 3 smooth stones at the ready. Don't you understand? Because that way, when we have to knock out that demon's brains with these words of truth, then we can just go ahead and hit them with this.
Teach a man how to squabble. Get that trigger next time, nigga.
Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Still my beats. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on? What's going on? You see how them piece? Yes, I will be doing another piece on that. So I'll be doing the video on the whole reparations part because it's Black History Month, so we got to hit that. I just wanted to give that its own video because that's why these lives are now shorter, as you could see, because we are putting out more videos of the shorter kind, which are more topic specific. When and I see, I like, I see the response. I like doing those videos myself anyway. So, I hope that all of y'all have been enjoying those as well, because that is something that I enjoy doing, putting, one subject at a time. I like actually being able to do that. That's a cool thing. So thank y'all for supporting that as well. That's been really dope. So as we grow this channel, we're just trying to get more content and build this channel. So please, spread the word about what we're doing here. What we're doing here. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can follow me on Facebook, beatzillapdx. Still My Beat said, hey, also check out The Hill talking about Justin Trudeau and wokeness. I think you'll find it humorous. Justin Trudeau, he's the Canadian, right? To see what he's talking about. And so, yes, you can also email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And of course, if you feel so inclined to put something in the bucket by way of donation to help this platform grow and whatnot, and, you can start by hitting the like button. And then you could also join. You can also subscribe. But you can also donate by way of Cash App or PayPal. And Cash App is $beatzillapdx. That's Cash App, $beatzillapdx. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Music. That is ZILLAMUZ. I'm saying MUZAK at PayPal. And of course, we have super thanks and super chat. So shout out for the super chats this evening. Appreciate that, and the super stickers. And for the people who hit the super thanks to you. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon you as well. So look out for, the rest of the week's videos. You'll be notified, of course. Hopefully you hit that notification bell, hit the word all, and hopefully YouTube is doing their job by notifying you guys every time that these videos are about to air. Because there's a video tomorrow at 11:30 Pacific time, and then also a video for Sunday, which is an airing of a previous certified truth space. So hopefully y'all enjoy that, and much appreciated to all of y'all. They use wokeness. Wokeness is now became the new code word for black. So that's what that is. Every time you see wokeness and woke and all this woke, blah, blah, woke, that just means anything pertaining to black empowerment. And that's how they do it. Yeah, can it steal my beats? Are you in Canada? Are you in Canada steal my beats? Because I totally understand, got to deal with that Justin Trudeau up there. But it's all right. Shoot. Nah, Cali. Oh, okay. Got it. Yes, indeed. Well, shout out to the West Coast. Appreciate all y'all. Y'all have a blessed evening. We will be here again Friday live. There will be videos airing, throughout the week or weekend. So just pay attention to your schedule. They need to do that. They need to start integrating that into, since it's all like Google anyway, your notifications, they need to integrate that into your calendar. Makes sense to me. Maybe that's a feature that they need to come up with. Google, if you use it, YouTube, go ahead and shoot me some chips for my idea. So I'm pretty sure I got everything I needed to show y'all. So we are getting ready to get out of here, and y'all already know how we do. Because we stay black, and we stay vigilant, and we stay alive. Till next time, family. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yes. See, that's what you throw. Yes. Right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.